your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right, so we're still here with you. We are still here for you. It's Global Morning, Sunday morning edition, a program where we shed light on helping ourselves understand Nigeria better, helping ourselves with information and all that we need to be able to go into the week Monday and be able to succeed and achieve our goals, right? I hope that you're fine. I hope you are doing well. And I know that with the right things, already Nigeria is going to be 65 in just a few days from now, right? So all of the topics that we've lined up for discussions this morning is about Nigeria. And as we are going to be looking at various sectors, Nigeria at 65. Absolutely amazing. I remember when we had Nigeria at 50, we had to change our denominations, like our 50 naira notes. You know, we had that very beautiful design, Nigeria at 50. But look at just a few days ago, a few years ago, we're 50, and now we're 65. We're gradually moving. And for those of you who've been here long enough, you could maybe remember Nigeria at 10. You could even remember Nigeria at 1, you know, Nigeria at 30, Nigeria at 40. And what does Nigeria mean to you? It's a question we must answer from our hearts. What does Nigeria mean to you? For me, Nigeria means a place I call home, the only country I call home. at least for now. A country where there are numerous opportunities. 70% of this country is filled with young people, right? 70%. So you could imagine an amazing country. The country with diverse culture. Just go to the northwest, where you have places like Bauchi State and the rest of them, and you go to the northeast, where you have Yobe, you have Adamawa, you have Borno State. Amazing place. You come to the north central, Abuja is like a conglomerate. A lot of people, beautiful places. Still the north central, you just want to do a little trip, you go to Plateau State, where it seems you're outside Nigeria. Very beautiful place, filled with energetic people. The weather in Plateau just specifically is amazing. Wonderful place. And you just want to do a little move to the southwest. You get to a place like Lagos, a country of its own. Lagos has the 4th largest economy in Africa. Amazing things I've been able to do. The transportation system in Lagos, the business system, the hallmark of Nigeria, creativity, industry, business, entertainment. Lagos has over time has held Nigeria together as the centerpiece of our commerce and industry. And just from Lagos, you move to Ogun State, which is gradually becoming the manufacturing hub of Nigeria. That's Lagos-Shagamu Expressway. As you move along Ogun State, you see from one company to the other, just to show you the beauty of Nigeria. And we're not forgetting the southeast. Amazing place filled with amazing people. The market in Ariaria, Aba, precisely, an amazing place that has shown the ingenuity of Nigeria. There's nothing you want that you cannot see in Aba. Umuahia, that's Abia State, right? You go to Owerri, where you have the nightlife is amazing, where you have the environments, the amazing things that are happening in Owerri. The real estate sector is expanding. Ebonyi State, absolutely amazing. And you move to the southwest, right? South. I was going to talk about this. And maybe your first stop is at River State, Port Harcourt, an amazing city. A city that has held Nigeria, oil-rich city, rich in culture, rich in language, a city that shows what Nigeria is. Nobody's timid in Port Harcourt, right? River State is a city that captures the essence of Nigeria as a giant of Africa. So from there, maybe you just like to move to Bayelsa, where you could have this fisherman soup. I remember my first day in Yenogwa, and you're just like, is this Nigeria? You leave one water body, you see the necks, you see all the legs, you see the beautiful places. Bayelsa is actually an amazing place. I can't fail talking about Akwa Ibom and Cross River, of course. That's where we had our upbringing for myself, right? Akwa Ibom is an amazing place. The serenity, the people are friendly, welcoming, and for me, you could argue that I feel that we have the best delicacies, that's food when it comes to Nigeria, right? Amazing food from one dish to the other, ekpan kukwo, afang soup, edikan ikong, and all of that goes to the old Cross River region, that's Akwa Cross, and even as you go into Cross River North, you keep seeing amazing people. I think I've mentioned all of the zones of Nigeria today as we hope to celebrate Nigeria at 65. I beg your pardon, we can't go back, we're moving forward. So let's just go look at the papers as we have information about what's happening today, and after this I'll go for a short break, but as we come back straight into the papers as we get to have information for today. My name is Ubong Usoro, and this is me officially welcoming you to Global Morning Sunday edition. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Nigeria at 65, a nation rich in culture, heritage, and resilience. From the banks of the River Niger to the hills of Jos, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the peaceful plains of Sokoto, Nigeria stands tall, united by hope, straightened by diversity. 65 years, the green and white flag rises high, a symbol of freedom, a promise of self-determination, a call to greatness.
Through trials and triumphs, challenges and changes, Nigeria remains unbroken. Her people, bold, brilliant, and brave, continue to rise, innovating, creating, and shaping the future. The journey has been perfect, but it has been powerful.
As we mark 65 years of independence, we remember the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to the future with hope. Together, we are stronger and united. Happy Independence, Nigeria! This message is brought to you by Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right. Apologies for some of the issues that we've had this morning, right? So we're going to be bringing you the newspapers later because of a little itch that we had. But as we keep the conversation, by 9 o'clock, we have somebody that will be joining us as we look at Nigeria at 65, at the cultural values and norms. And I think it's very important that we go all the way back to look at this country, how far we've come, what are actually our cultural values. And for me, the moment as I think about Nigeria at 65, the first thing that came to mind was, what does Nigeria really mean to you? I think that's a question we need to answer. And the moment we're able to answer that question, it will drive our national philosophy. It will drive the way we look at each other, the way we respect each other, the way we love each other, and the way we help each other, right? There's a lot that we can gain from each other, and we could just leverage on each other. I just want to share a few examples. For instance, no part of Nigeria is completely isolated. We are interwoven and intertwined and intertwined with each other, and the strength of each of us is highlighted. The strength of each section of Nigeria becomes more pronounced when we come together as a group, right? When you look at our population, 200 million people, more than 200 million people, some say 230 and all of that, right? This is the biggest market in Africa. In fact, Nigeria has the highest population in Africa. We have the highest population in sub-Saharan Africa. We have the highest population in West Africa. And when you come to the global south, we have one of the largest populations in the world, apart from China with 1.5 billion, India with 1.6 billion, where you have the United States and a few others. So you have Nigeria in that mix. So when it comes to economy, we are a super house. When it comes to intellectual, we are a super house. So you can't talk about African literature and not mention people from Nigeria. People like Wole Soyinka, right? You mention his name, Olarotimi. You mention his name, Chinua Achebe. You mention his name, and currently Chimamanda. You mention her name, and these are Nigerians that have written their names in the sands of time. And over time, we've had credible Nigerians like this that have gone ahead to do amazing things, right? In the health sector, you mentioned Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians. One comes to mind now, the owner of the Los Angeles Pain Center. I'm trying to get his name. A Nigerian from Igbo ancestry, amazing person, Maduka, who is doing an amazing work, right? That's the biggest, one of the biggest private hospitals in the US. It's owned by a Nigerian, and it's an internationally acclaimed hospital, right? And that's a Nigerian. The current mayor of East in the UK is a Nigerian. So Nigerians are amazing, doing great things here. The leader of the opposition party in the UK, Kemi Badodot, she can say she's not a Nigerian again for all she likes, but she still traces her ancestry to Nigeria, right? So those are Nigerians that have actually done amazing things. In sports, remember Atlanta 99, Nigeria went there and showed the whole world what we are made of. Of recent, we have world title holders. We could mention people like Favor Fili, who's done amazingly well, Toby Amusan, who's done quite well, Samuel Peter, and a lot of other Nigerians that have shown capacity in sports. So in all departments, in all spheres of endeavor, in public service, Amina Mohammed is there. Our former Minister for Finance, Nkosi Ogonjo-Iweala, is there. And in private practice, we have lots of Nigerians that have distinguished themselves in private practice. In law, in education, Nigerian researchers have shown the world what we are capable of doing, even in government, right? In government, Nigeria became a blueprint for a lot of other Nigerians. I remember ECOMOC at the point, Economic Community of West Africa, where we had went to Liberia for that restoration, and other countries that we've done intervention. So truly, Nigeria has been the big brother of Africa. So I ask the question again, what does Nigeria mean to you at 65? A child a man who's 65, should have already retired from work, right? If Nigeria was like to be a human being, at 65 you're retired already from service. You're looking into life and looking into what you hope to gain as you go into the future, right? Yeah, you have plans already. Somebody said it's quite unfortunate that some of the people ruling Nigeria are even older than Nigeria, but that's making it. Nigeria is a great country that has contributed significantly to human endeavor. You can take that away. Yeah, we have challenges. Banditry is a challenge, right? We have kidnapping as a challenge. We have unemployment as a challenge. We have poverty as a challenge. We have marginalization of groups like women, like a few other groups, people with disabilities. We have all of these challenges. They are structural challenges, but you can't take away the fact that we've also done we've done contribution. The question is, can we do better? And the answer, straightforward to the face, is yes, we can do better. But let's look at where we are, learn lessons, and be able to project the future, go into the future and actually get to win. It's all about winning. When Nigeria wins, we all win. When you win for yourself. But when Nigeria win, we all win. Our family wins, and we're able to be able to progress and do very well as we get into the future. Let's go for this short break, and when we're back, we have our first guest for this morning who will be joining us to help talk about culture. At Nigeria, what are the cultural values that we've left behind as we've done this 65 years? After this break, I'll be back. My name is Bong Osora, and this is Global Morning, Sunday morning edition.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right, welcome back. This is still Global Morning on Global Television 365 on DSTV. My name is Ubong Osoro, and today we are going to be looking at Nigeria at 65 as we interrogate our cultural values as a people, right? We've come a long way, but before now, there were a lot of talks about Nigeria being a very homely place, Nigeria being very family-centered, and all of that. Do we still uphold our cultural values? Is it westernization? Is it sophistication? What are the terms that, what is eroding the cultural values that we've always had as a people? So joining us this morning to help make sense of this discussion is a cultural advocate named Ms. Adejoke Raji, who is joining us. She's in Abuja, but she's joining us via Zoom as we have this conversation this morning. A very good morning to you. Ms. Raji, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Absolutely, I can hear you. Good morning and welcome to the show. We're happy to have you join us on Global Morning this morning.
Same here.
All right, so let's start with a big question. Nigeria is 65. What does it mean to you?
Nigeria at 65 is really a landmark, really. It's a real great landmark. We've been through ups, downs, trials, but we're surviving. I actually see Nigeria 65 as a call. It's really a call to self-realization. We need to actually ask ourselves that at this age, who really are we? Who are we as a country? Who are we as individuals? Who are we as a community? I think Nigeria 65 should be a kind of a call to self-reflection and self-discovery, self-realization.
All right, so as we try to get deep into our conversation, we're looking at Nigeria 65 as we interrogate deviations from culture and norms. There are a lot of narrative when it comes to Nigeria, our culture, and all of that. Can you walk us through what is the narrative concerning our culture before now? And is it that our culture was not good enough? That's why we are doing away with it. There was a time we even stopped teaching history. So a lot of the young people growing up don't even know how we got here. 1914, we had the amalgamation. We became independent in 1960, became a republic in 1963, and you could see all of these people, one country today, but different nations. Everybody has their uniqueness and their unique culture. Are we upholding the culture of Nigeria? The question now, okay, let me put it this way. Just looking at the culture of Nigeria as a cultural enthusiast, does it give you joy that we bring all of these beautiful colors and culture, all of us bring different things to the table?
Well, just the way I said in my opening statement that Nigeria 65 is a place for us to actually sit down and reassess who we are. And remember I said we've been through thick and thin. I would say prior to this time, let's divide it, the phase into three. We were who we were. Then at certain point, we felt inadequate. We felt the need to measure up with some certain class, with certain world view. And that's this saying that if you can discover yourself, you will be giving cognizance to self, giving cognizance to value we hold as being, as nation, as country, that we lost it. Then we started chasing mirage. We started stating mirage because we felt we were not adequate. We had to measure up to our colonial master standard. Then at the point you want to ask what actually is independent. Why did we actually crave for self-governance when we're going to lose our identity? I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
because if you are talking about identity, that's where cultural essence comes in. Who am I? What do I stand for? Where am I coming from? Who were my progenitor? How were they doing it that was making life easy for them before the coming of the colonial masters, be it Britain, be it, you know, before the coming of Britain, we had other people that actually came into this country or came into this entity that is now Nigeria.
Yeah, the Portuguese came in the 16th century. Yeah.
Yes, I think the Portuguese, the Arabs, they all came before even the coming of the British. I didn't specifically say the Portuguese because all of them were just coming and going, but then it wasn't really pronounced because I think maybe they were just taking their time hiding under trade. I wouldn't know. But then who were we? And it's when you forget where you're coming from that's talking of history of a particular set of people, then you lose it. You lose your being, you lose your essence, you lose your identity. Prior to this time, my people, I mean Nigeria, we want to look at it from the south, the west, the north, the east. They were people of pride. They took joy in their personality, in their individuality, in their communal living. And you know, when we're talking about the communal living, that's actually what made us. That's what actually united us in anywhere we find ourselves. Take for instance now, I think maybe after the slave trade, some sect of Nigeria, perhaps Yoruba, brought themselves together and established another community in the Europe. They're still there. It's because Africa, Nigeria, we believe in togetherness. We believe in unity. We never see anybody being superior. Even if you are the king, you still have to calm down to relate with your people. That's when you feel their pain. But then our system of government, our system of governance, forgive me, changed because we are trying to align with some certain set foreign ideologies that we believe is superior to whatever our grandfather, our progenitors had. And that's where we lost it, trust me.
All right, that's quite an elaborate explanation, and it shows that you've been on this path. I'd like to ask, what gave you the motivation to want to get to understand about your people and put so much effort in teaching people and also helping other Nigerians understand where we are coming from and helping us make decisions for the future? Because knowing about culture and value is not something a lot of people want to do. Before we take the other questions, what motivated you to be in this space and get to have all of this information that you have today?
Okay, perhaps I should tell you some parts of myself. Growing up as a child, I think I came to self-realization and discovery at the age of 6. That's talking at an elementary pupil. My brain was always asking questions. Why are these people doing this? Why do we kneel? Why is it that female kneel down? Why is it that men prostrate? Then I noticed that those that go into official work, that's going to offices, they'll put on socks. Female will not put on socks. Then, hello?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. You know, the question started coming. Why the disparity? Why is it that those people that are not working in office, like traders, like farmers, their dress sense is different from those that go to the office? Then I think the journey actually started from that set, that I needed to know, you know, sometimes you go to the village to visit grannies, grandies. The way they were doing their things was different from the way we were doing it in the city, in the urban area. You know, as a child, you start questioning what is the disparity. And you find out that even then, we had more values in the village. Anytime I was there, I was taught a lot of things. So anytime I came back to the urban, or anytime I came to the city, I seemed to have edge over my contemporaries. You know, it's not like in me I have something they didn't have. And as I mentioned earlier, when you feel somebody is superior to you, you want to tilt towards their own sense. You want to tilt towards their acceptance. You want to tilt into their validation. Yeah, I get the right word I've been looking for in my brain. Validation. You understand? So going to the villages, relating with my cousins that were not living in the city with me, anytime I was not in the midst of my friends, even when they were talking, I always had answers in my brain. So that spurred me to want to know more, to always want to have an edge. Even growing up, I was on the quiet side. So I was always having a lot of athletics in my brain, a lot of game going on in my brain. Even till now, when you're talking to me now, I'll be taking a journey back. How was it done? How could I have an edge over you? If I should sit at the table with a Briton today, with an American today, whatever ideology is discussing with me, I try not to look at it from his own angle. I try to look at it from the way my grandfather would have looked at it, from the way my parents would have looked at it. Because somehow, something tells me that nobody will come to you telling you his own is better than yours if he doesn't have a hidden intention, a focused game that is actually looking at to take from you. I don't know if I'm communicating.
I can hear you.
I don't know if I'm communicating. You understand? So in my brain, something like a tenth sense will always stand up that where is this person driving?
You've made two very major statements, and number one is the need for validation, right? Cultural deviation. We see that validation is one of the things that it seems to have deviated our culture. And you've said something that I also wanted to expand a bit, that for every policy statement that we discuss on the table, maybe we'll go for bilateral agreements or whatever, that from your perspective, you look at it from the Nigerian perspective. How would we look at this as Nigerians? Because we are Nigerians, because we are maybe a Yoruba person, because I'm from Akwa Ibom, how does this affect me? How do I look at this from my cultural heritage? So it gives you a more open view to that issue. You are able to interrogate the issue better. So I like that you expand that into the broader context of Nigeria as it plays today. Where are we when it comes to interrogating things with our culture, when it comes to interrogating even innovations, right? Today we have phones. Were we able to interrogate it from where we are coming from? Were we able to make contributions based on where we are coming from, and the need for validation? How is validation destroying the base?
Came to me. You know, when you're always looking for validation, you lose your essence. You lose your essence. Why don't you try to discover who you are? Look at where you're coming from, what you stand for. Then come to the table with that. If you don't know who you are, you will not know how to present your narration. You will not know how to define yourself. Then you're giving room to others to give you definition, to tell you the route to take, to channel your course. It's not as if it's not good to be validated. Sometimes validation is a way of giving you a pat on the back that you are doing well. But then you're doing well to whose advantage? To other people's advantage or to your advantage? Is there a room for growth in self? What do I mean? When you're always getting validation because you are pleasing the other person at the other side of the table, you're killing yourself. There's this saying that I always tell people: be sure of what you want to say before you open your mouth. Because every yes you say to the person on the other side of the table or the other side of the fence is a big note to yourself. And yes, there should be room for us to meet at certain level. There should be a meeting point, but never allow yourself to be pressed down. And what will help you to do that is self-realization, self-discovery, and self-validation. You need to believe in yourself. You need to be sure of yourself before you now seek outside validation, so that when the kind of validation coming from the other side is not actually the kind of validation you have, you should be able to put your foot down that no, that's not where I'm going. That's not actually what I want. When you don't have a voice, when you don't even try to talk, you'll be kept short forever. And you mentioned something about technology. Take for instance phone. Yes, I always tell people nobody has it all. As they have the opportunity to manufacture phone, teach us the tech, we also have something we can bring to the table. Take for instance, I always tell people, if you're good in science and I'm good in art, it's not a waste. It's for a purpose. If you're good in tech, there will be need for the tech to be put to use. Who are the people that will use it? It is the human. So how do we now juxtapose the relationship between engine, tech, and the human existence? Communication, socialization. And at the end of the day, you find out that everybody has got something to offer. So in sociology, it is said that no culture is inferior to the other. So you can't tell me that because you have the technological know-how, it makes me less of a being to you. No. I might have the mental capacity to put your tech into question, to interrogate your purpose and your end intention for even producing that particular tech. I will not take it at face value, and I think that's where my culture comes in. As an African child, as a Nigerian child, well, let me bring it down a little. As a Yoruba child, when your mother look at you without talking, you know what it means. I wouldn't know if it exists among the Europeans or the Britons or people out there, but we do more of non-verbal communication than verbal communication. So from my experience, from my intuition in communication, I can as well tell you that your AI, your tech, is still beneath me when it comes to human socialization and validation. Yes, I always tell people that my people don't know the difference between civilization and westernization. Civilization is just the ability to do things better than you used to do it. For instance, we used to grind our pepper with either mortar pounding or grinding stone, but over time we got introduced to grinding machine, we got introduced to blender and others. It's a way of doing things better. It doesn't change my mentality. It doesn't change my essence. I don't need to kill myself as in what I stand for to belong to your camp. By the time I do that, then it means I've westernized myself. For instance, I don't have to start wearing your style, your clothes, for me to feel like a true human being. I have the way my people dress. Of course, we can meet at the point, maybe where we used to tie ordinary wrapper. I can as well start putting something else. I can wear trousers to be smarter, but it does not negate the fact that I have my own values. I tell people that a good dresser, a fashionista, is not somebody that is able to impress, but that can dress to suit each occasion. If I'm going for sport, I know that I should be smart. No matter what I'm putting on, either I'm putting on trousers, or I'm putting on skirts, or whatever. There's a way I can dress and still be smart, so far that it will suit that particular purpose. So on the if you really want to look at it, when you disregard where you're coming from, you don't know your history, you don't really know who you are, then the alien, the outsider, the stranger will call you anything. They can call you mouse, they can call you monkey, they can call you lizard, and you take it because you don't really know who you are. It's when you know who you are, that will determine where you're going, and that's will shape what you desire and how to negotiate better when it comes to political table.
All right. What a wonderful conversation that we're having this morning. If you're just joining us, this is us at Global Morning, a weekend show where we actually look at diverse things about the country and how to get better as a people. And today, this morning, we are looking at Nigeria at 65 as we are interrogating deviations from culture and norms. And we have joining us a cultural advocate who is helping us make sense of the discussion this morning, Adejoke Raji, and she's actually seeing a lot of wonderful things. Well, we go back to where this all starts. What are some of the major cultural values and norms that once defined Nigeria as a people or as a country? You know, when it comes to the idea of Nigeria as a country, sometimes it takes some time for people to understand, because people see us all looking different from different places. I know there are points that we meet. We have like this meeting point, like you mentioned. Your mom looks at you non-verbally, you understand what it means. You don't have to be a Yoruba person. I'm not Yoruba, but I understand that very well from the culture where I come from, right? Ibibio. We understand that very, very well. And I think somebody from the south says too, Zubo, can relate to that. And even maybe somebody from the north could also relate to that. But what are some of the cultural values in Nigeria that you can pinpoint and say, this was what we used to do, this was what this place used to do? In the south it was like this, in the north it was like this. Do you have some examples that you may want to share with us?
Yes, I am Yoruba. I have lived among the Hausa, and I have quite a handful of people from the east, from the south. So with my experience and exposure, I think we have some common cultural value. My people, and when I say my people now, I'm saying the Nigerians, they are very homely. They are very receptive. They are very accommodating. I wouldn't want to commit a flaw in saying that perhaps it's when we have the infiltration of people from the outside world that our integrity gets questioned. In the days of the old, when any visitor comes, nobody asks you who you are. They see you as human being, you are welcome, you are greeted, then they offer you water first so that you calm down, they offer you chair, and that's when they cannot start asking questions. And it's not even going to be like interrogation anyway. It's going to come in form of friendly conversation. I'll tell you something my grandfather did that amazed me. In those days, my grandfather will always be, we have what we call Okowaju. That's not the immediate community farm. They go, like if you are going to go by timing, let's say they'll travel for, let's say, 30 minutes, 1 hour in a vehicle to the farmstead. And, you know, it means all the buildings in this, in the, where we call home anyway, let me say town, will be locked up. So you find out that they will give it to strangers and they will tell you, it doesn't matter if he pays. Let him just keep the home alive. Let him clean the place for me. That's who we were as Nigerians. When I went serving in Jigawa State, I never felt like I left home except for the fact that I miss my people. I felt welcomed. I think then there was much trust, and I think we dwell more on integrity. Our name was more important. Our name was more important than what we had in our pocket. So it's not about what you have, it's about who you are. That's the culture of my people. That's who we are as Nigerians. So our diversity has to do with some other variation. And I think it should add values to us, not separate us. Like in Yoruba, we have a traditional religion. In the north, it's actually when I went to serve in the corner that I got to know that they too have traditional belief. They have traditional way of worshiping before the coming of Islam. But of course, we all believe that the northerners come with the Islamic religion, and the people from the southeast, perhaps a part of south, they are Christians. And Yoruba, that's the southwest, they welcome all sorts of things. You find Muslims among them, you find Christian among them, and they celebrate traditional religion more. But then when we meet, it doesn't matter, because all this faith, all these religions, what they preach is accommodation and love. Of course, we have our differences. We have time when we fight, but you still find that people will fight in love. Well, that's the way I see Nigeria, and I think it should be a strength. The different colors we wear, our diversity, should even add more values to us. As I said earlier, in sociology, no culture is inferior or superior to the other. Perhaps it is this difference. Like when I went to the Connaught for my National Youth Service, I learned quite a lot of new things. And I think this had values to my person. And I'll tell you, that's one of the things that made me realize that, wow, Nigeria, we are really beautiful, irrespective of the language we speak, irrespective of the religion we proclaim. The true being in us is really beautiful. I cannot know it all. Just like if I'm living in house A and you're living in house B, there will be something unique about you and your family. There will be something unique about me too. It's when we're able to harness these differences, this uniqueness, that will bring out the best. That's the way I see it anyway.
Raji, we're having a wonderful conversation this morning, and a lot of people are really interested in this conversation. Please stay with us. Let's go for a short break, and when we're back, we'll continue the conversation. All right, so
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Nigeria at 65, a nation rich in culture, heritage, and resilience. From the banks of the River Niger to the hills of Jos, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the peaceful plains of Sokoto, Nigeria stands tall, united by hope, straightened by diversity. 65 years, the green and white flag rises high, a symbol of freedom, a promise of self-determination, a call to greatness.
Through trials and triumphs, challenges and changes, Nigeria remains unbroken. Her people, bold, brilliant, and brave, continue to rise, innovating, creating, and shaping the future. The journey has been perfect, but it has been powerful.
As we mark 65 years of independence, We remember the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to the future with hope. Together, we are stronger and united. Happy Independence, Nigeria! This message is brought to you by Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Nigeria at 65, a nation rich in culture, heritage, and resilience. From the banks of the River Niger to the hills of Jos, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the peaceful plains of Sokoto, Nigeria stands tall, united by hope, straightened by diversity. 65 years, the green and white flag rises high, a symbol of freedom, a promise of self-determination, a call to greatness.
Through trials and triumphs, challenges and changes, Nigeria remains unbroken. Her people, bold, brilliant, and brave, continue to rise, innovating, creating, and shaping the future. The journey has been perfect, but it has been powerful.
As we mark 65 years of independence, we remember the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to the future with hope. Together, we are stronger and united. Happy Independence, Nigeria! This message is brought to you by Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
A very good morning once again. If you're just joining us, welcome back from that very break. This is Global Morning Weekend Edition, where we get to look at Nigeria at 65 deviations from our cultural norms and values. And we have a cultural expert and a cultural advocate who's joined us this morning to help make sense of the discussion. As we're looking at where we have come, how far we've come, and as we look into the future, what are some of the things we can do as a nation, as a people, to do better? These deviations that we have from our cultural alignment. She mentioned Mrs. Adejoke Raji, who joined us, mentioned that Nigeria used to be a very peace-loving place, and there was one thing that was synonymous with all cultures in Nigeria, and that was the place of acceptance, the place of openness, the place of showing hospitality. So before people could even ask you where you come from, they must have given you a glass of water. And this had nothing to do with religion, it had nothing to do with ethnicity, it was just us being Nigerians. And this is what we're about as Africans, as Nigerians. We're very family oriented, always looking out for our people, always looking out for to make sure that we are bonded by the people we love, we are close to the people we love, and family takes a center stage as far as our life is concerned. All right, so we'll try to continue the discussion as we try to see if we have Ms. Adejoke Raji, cultural advocates join us again as we have the discussion. I'd like to be asking her about the young people in Nigeria and what does it mean for the next generation, for those who will come. This is 65. In the next 65 years, are we still going to have a Nigeria? And if we have a Nigeria, then what kind of Nigeria will we be talking about? What will be the essence of the Nigeria that we'll be hoping for the future? Because you mentioned something that validation seems to derail a lot of us from who and what we are supposed to be, because a lot of Nigerians look for people to clap for them and say you are doing well, which may not come at some point. I don't know if we have Ms. Raji join us once again. All right, so let's continue the conversation. Please welcome back Madam Adejoke Raji from that break. So you were saying something. I'd just like that you continue the conversation from where we left it. But I'd like to ask this question. Many young Nigerians are drawn to Western culture, Western music, Western food. In fact, if you are not doing what people call a white wedding, or you are not showing some, Western values or Western activities in what you do, people think you are not in vogue. What do you see for Nigeria if we continue in this direction?
It's nice to be back. For the record, let me correct you on the way you call my name. My name is Adejoke Raji.
Adejoke Raji.
So I'll take it from
a cultural lesson taken properly.
Yeah, I think I would like to take it from the angle of the wedding. Yeah, let me approach it from that side, because over time you find that a lot of people are deviating seriously. It's because they don't know who they are. And I still want to take it to be the bane of the problem we have now. The society seems to be unsafe. The society seems to be shaken. How were we living before this time that made every Nigerian to feel safe and comfortable in any part of the country? If you permit me, let's actually look at the family which will be established through marriage. Among the whites, they too have the culture. I think maybe I should just take it that it's not even westernization. I think this wind blowing is affecting the planet generally, trust me. Because when I assess the English culture, it's not as if it's really bad like that. I don't want to sound like I'm attacking a particular race. Perhaps it's when this fight for freedom came and people didn't know how to channel their quest for freedom. What are you really setting yourself free from? Like when America got their independence, I don't know if it's, let me just put it as freedom, that you are leaving a particular place to another place does not mean you should turn your head from the sky and tilt it towards the ground. You'll find that America changed a lot of things that will connect them to where they were coming from. And I think that's the beginning of human greatest undoing. Everybody wants to do something different. Even if you want to do something different, why not channel it positively? Okay, we had the way we handle our proposal, our family relationship. When you see a woman that you like, how you call your people to tell them, I've seen a girl, I think I like her. What do you know about her? That is the beginning of courtship. It's not I like you, I love you. You are meeting me for the first time, you are liking me, you are loving me at the same time. Do you even know who I am? Do you even know if I'm a beast that has the ability to change to human form, and I decided to come to human community just to carry out an assignment simply because you see me in flesh form? You believe you love me immediately. Even if I will spell your end, you just love me without even knowing the meaning of love. Among my people, when you see, even, do you know a female can be interested in a male first. But where we start our family establishment from, where we start the concept of courtship from, is when you see whatever you like outside, you come back home, you don't approach that thing that you like home. It's dangerous. You come back home and see, it's not that I'm talking that thing just came to me. When you come back home, it's a return journey to really identify your source and to tap from their knowledge, their wisdom on how to step outside. This is metaphorical. It goes beyond what I'm saying. As I'm saying it, it's translating more into my brain. It's metaphorical. It's just like I'm in school now. I got scholarship. I still need to come back. Dad, mom, I got the scholarship. I'm to go to this country. When you involve others in your affair, like your progenitors, your lineage, the people that have done it before you, the people that have treaded the path called earth before you, they will tell you this how you step, this how you move, this how you bend. When you get to that point, far off, you see a tree bend so that your head don't get entangled. So when you see what you like, either female or male, you come back to do your research. That's who we are as Nigerians. You come back home. I just saw a babe, and I think I like her. Who is she? Your friends, your neighbors, even your parents will be involved. They will investigate who is that person that caught the interest of our world. And with that, you'll be able to know. It doesn't matter if you're the same tribe or not. Like, I grew up in Lagos, I'm a Lagosian. You have people of different culture, people of different origin, different, even from outside Nigeria. But the fact that you are living together, one or two people would have noticed something about the mother of that child, her friends. In a situation where she's just a migrant that is working in Lagos, they would have known the kind of community she keeps, the kind of association she has. It's not a one-man show. By the time you ask questions here and there, you'll be able to get some seed information about him or about her. If it's about him, by the time Providence brings you together to start talking, you already had a premise upon which to assess such a person. As well, if it's a woman, they'll be able to say that she's a good girl, but she's not from a good home. The father drinks, the father is always beating the mom. Okay, if you're so head-bent, there are some steps that will be taken. For instance, like, what church does she attend? Does she belong to a religious setting? They want to ask about the person's personal character, apart from what the parents are bequeathing to her. I think all those things, they are a form of our cultural security. They are they are the ways through we protect what is ours.
All right, so
I asked my father,
okay,
as a Yoruba person, excuse me, if you are marrying outside the tribe or culture, like you're marrying Igbo or Hausa, my father said, since that person didn't drop from the sky, there will be one or two people that will be able to say one or two things about that person. And you agree with me that marriage, family is the pedestal on which the society is formed.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you can talk. Yeah.
Okay, ma. So I just wanted to say, ask this question. What is the difference between cultural growth and cultural erosion? The way we are going, are we growing culturally or are we eroding? Cultural growth and cultural erosion.
Let me take it from your question, that the way we are we having cultural growth or cultural erosion, right?
Yes.
Yes. Like in the past decade, like let's say from the 90s to the 20s, we're still in the 20s anyway, but we're aging out already. We were having cultural erosion. And suddenly it seems something just clicked, something just changed. People are now taking a backward journey. People are returning. Let me call it that, returning. People are now having this sense of we are lost. Let's go back home. Nigeria cultural stories like the case of the prodigal son. Do you understand? He had a home, he had love, he had people that cherish him so much. But his eyes were still outside. So he went, he got beaten, he got shamed, then he had to return. That's just how I would narrate or summarize Nigeria cultural exposition. Do you understand?
Yes, absolutely.
We were getting cultural eroded, and suddenly it seems we are now on a backward journey. I'll give you an instance. I have somebody in Canada. She told me that people are now going back to cornrow as hairstyle. People are now going back to matching their hair, going with their natural hair, even if they still relax anyway. But they are moving away from this wig hair, this hair they are selling and all that, because they have discovered that there's no good in it for them. She even went further to tell me that it's even giving them like cancer and all that. I don't know how true it is. I'm just narrating a conversation that happened between me and somebody in Canada. But you find out that when you're with your natural hair, you are healthier. Hair touches your skull, you sleep comfortably, and you're still in your natural, like you still have your nature anyway. So you find out that when you want to wear other people's culture, it's like being adorned in borrowed garments. When you're in borrowed garments, you can never be comfortable. And when you try to tilt towards other people's culture, you always play a second fiddle. There's this thing we say in linguistics. We linguists believe that no matter how good you are in other people's language, it cannot be as perfect as the natural user of that language, like those that grew up learning the language inquisitively. You always try. You can never get it right, except if you are part and parcel of that culture. Even at that, there will still be some shaky shoddy features. So why not do better in who you are, develop who you are, and you find out that you need only little effort. For instance, to tie wrapper shouldn't be any big deal to any African, any Nigerian, because that is who we are. And it's when you celebrate self, it's when you give cognizance to your essence, that get attractive to others. Have you noticed that the white have started dressing our way now? I wouldn't know if you have observed. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I said yes.
Have you noticed the trend now? Okay, I didn't hear that. It's because we are celebrating who we are. So they now see something unique about it. They now realize that we too, we are beautifully made.
So I'd like to ask about family structure going forward into the future. Yeah. We're having a space where a lot of people say they may not want to have children, they don't want to raise family is cumbersome. But you mentioned that Africa was always around family. It didn't matter whose child you were. I remember as a child growing up, even this is taking us to a place of worship. There was a day we were disciplined as children in church because we did something, a group of children, and we're all called, and nobody took permission from anybody to do that discipline. And all the parents were happy, that their children were disciplined, their children were involved. In fact, you even got home and you're disciplined again. And we had, even in schools, we had where discipline could be meted out, right? And maybe I'm not saying children should be flogged and everything, but discipline one way or the other. And you get home and your family supported that discipline, but it seems the family is gradually losing its strength, and people may not really be interested in family going into the future. I like that you talk about how that is deviating from our cultural essence as a people.
I have a lot of things to say about that. But then let me take it from an example. You say I like making references. I think I like approaching things pragmatically. In my office, I was talking with somebody. So I said, what about taking your children for holidays with their cousins? She said, Alaja, in this era where you don't even know where it's safe. You know the question I returned to her? Do you know when you will die? Will you always be with your children? Is it not when your children are exposed to their relatives, going for holiday with cousins, going to this place, going to that? So if you suddenly die now, they are the people that your children will run to because they have established relationship. You can't be too careful, just as you can't be too careless. You can never be perfect. You just try to balance it. Your child is only your child when that child is in your womb. Immediately the child comes out, it's now our child. We have a proverb among my people that it's only one eye that will produce a child. The whole community eyes will be on that child to raise. I don't know if that resonates with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you are too my child, you are being selfish, you are being self-conscious. Yes, it's good to be self-conscious in some aspects, don't get me wrong, but realize that nothing is permanent. We are all in a canoe moving on the ocean. Either you like it or not, we'll move on, because the tide will never stop for anybody. So when you are gone, who will your children have as, I'm down, let me call my aunt, let me call my cousin? It's when they have established relationship that they can have that confidence, and that's when they will not be lost. And it is through this family unification that we pass down our essence and our cultural standing. Even you as a mother, you can't know it all. You can never know it all. I lost my mother recently. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's not easy. But I'm comforted with, there are some things I want to find out. I can easily call her sisters. I can easily call her brothers. I can easily go home. It's not like my parent is the only home. It's because we had that communal sense of growth. That sense, communal development. And that's, let me tell you the truth. Take it or leave it. Communal living is what defines us. But then there should be limitation. In as much as I want to live communally, I want to relate among my people, there should be respect for boundaries. And I think we also have that in our culture. You don't just go into people. So yes, we didn't have telephone then. You can be passing by and stop by. Good morning. Sometimes, some people would even be sick, but they don't have anybody to call. It's when your neighbor feel, I've not seen so person in a long while. Let me check. That they'll find out that you are sick there. Maybe your children are grown, they are married, they are in their own life. But when you want to be so living so much solitude, so much privacy, you end up killing yourself. Trust me. So we should find a way, anyway, to balance the truth. Our education is not a waste. Our exposure is not a waste. But it should not be to kill who we are, but to make it better, to fine tune it, to make it more polished. And that's why we always say be civilized, not westernized.
All right. So I like to ask, as we try to wind down this conversation now, what is the place of festivals, language, and traditional attire and food? I mentioned 4 things. Our festivals that we used to have in preserving culture. We have a language, different language, and I know I can say Ekaro in Yoruba, right? I don't know what you correct me if I didn't get that very right. We have food, yes, different dishes. How does all of these things that we've mentioned add up to building our cultural values as we head into the future, as we hope to wind down the conversation now?
Let me take it from the food part. You find out that because we are seeking validation, we want the prospective husband to know that we can bake, we can fry, and before you know it, we are eating poison. I just suddenly ask myself a question. In the days gone by, my people didn't know what cancer was, or what cancer will be, or what cancer is, because we were eating food that is meant for our system. I heard a story recently. A Nigerian lady took her lunch to the office from home. A white lady in our office perceived something nice and would like to have a taste. She tasted it and she felt it's good. Then the Nigerian lady offered to share the food with her. You know what happened? She developed crisis and she ended up in the hospital because that food was not in her nature. It was not meant for her. So let's take it back home. You are eating indomie, you are eating this, you are eating that. If you must eat any foreign food, let it be natural, like leaves that has not been processed, that has not been cooked, like cabbage, lettuce, they are natural. I'm not against that. But how much of your food do you really know? Let me tell you the truth. If on Saturday you prepare my mind, you prepare akara, you prepare I'm sorry I'm mentioning Yoruba name, but then you know what I mean. It's just a specimen of Nigerian food anyway, not cultural identification. It's who we are as Nigeria. You prepare, you even have joy. You derive joy that you are able to cook as a Nigerian lady. If you go out there and you ask that, oh, you're Nigerian, can you tell me about your people? What do you know about your food? You don't have anything to say. Where does that leave you when it comes to identity? Talking of our sense of dressing, my people are known to be chaste. We are known to be modest. I don't know what you want to call chaste in your tribe, what you want to call modest in your tribe. But then let's take a look at this. In those days, a young girl will only try tie wrapper, and it doesn't give any advantage to the male folks to touch her or to embrace her unceremoniously. But that's no longer the case. So it means even our dresses comes with certain orientation. It's not just about putting on an attire. You dress for occasion, you dress for there's this thing we say in my tribe that there should be iwole, there should be murode. Iwole is the clothes you wear every day at home to do your normal chores. And imurode is your outing garment, your church wear, your ceremonial dresses, your festival dresses for occasion. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
they are you have segmented sets of fashion. You don't just dress that I feel like wearing this. No, you have you have clothes for each occasion, such that when you're going out and somebody meets you in your garment, they can say that she's on her way to a party, she's on her way for an event, oh, she's being given a title today, that's why she's dressed that way, which you don't find in other people's culture. It's just a flat dress. Yeah, they can be gorgeous sometimes because they need to look different among the people attending the program, but you don't have the fine identity with dress. I'm sorry, but that's what I've studied. That's what I've observed. I can make other discovery going forward. Was that today I find out that in Africa, especially in Nigeria, just like now, you are dressed and you put beads on your neck, or you are wearing a bead as your bracelet. People know that's chieftaincy statement, or you're on your way to a special occasion. Do you understand? And there are some beads that ordinary people will not wear. For instance, if you're a first child of a king, there's a particular kind of adornment you put on that at occasion. When people see you, you don't have to talk, they know who you are. Our fashion, our dresses define us. Is our dresses in Nigeria especially is a statement. If you see a male putting on cap with babariga, you know he wouldn't be wearing that to the farm, of course.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
You know you will not be going for a fishing expedition putting on Babariga or putting on SS, like bigger picture. We get the fine. And that's why my people will say, dress the way you wish to be addressed. Of course, some people still believe that big garment doesn't mean big personality, but then it also shows how you wish to be attended to. There's this proverb that if you dress anyhow to a party, you'll be served anyhow. You can even be given calabash to eat instead of the ornamental dishes. Do you understand? Yeah. So I think I always beat the drum of cultural sensitivity because it's what put me above in non-Nigeria. Anywhere I go into, you know me personally. Yeah. Anywhere I enter, I make a statement. It doesn't necessarily have to be expensive, but it should be classy. Absolutely. When you're going anywhere as a Yoruba person, you dress gorgeously. You are not in your home. You step out beautifully. And wherever you go, this one thing I always tell people. As an African child, as a Nigerian, you are not you. Unlike people from the other side of the sea, you are not an individual. You are representing the family you come from. You are representing the community you are coming out from. You are representing the government of your country. And I always tell people that the best garment you can wear, trust me, is your integrity. Wow. No matter how you want to dress, no matter how you want to speak, always remember that my people are people of honor. Anywhere we go, we always want to look back at how are my people viewing me. When I go out there, how would people perceive those that gave birth to me? How would people view the land that produced me? And I always say it, God did not make mistake bringing me to Nigeria. And because they brought me here, I should be Nigerian's pride.
All right. Thank you so much for an insightful lecture that we've had this morning. Adejoke Raji, who is a cultural advocate. She spent a lot of time. You can also follow her on social media and see the amazing work she does, explaining culture to people. We hope to have you one of these days in the studio. And maybe in some time you need to start a foundation, because this knowledge is so profound. You need to pass it out. You cannot just keep all of this in you. You need to transfer the knowledge to the next generation. Thank you so much for taking our time out of your busy schedule to come on the program this morning. We really do appreciate your wealth of knowledge, and we hope that you keep shining the light wherever you are. As we raise Nigeria, we are Team Nigeria, Team Culture, Team Africa, Team Family, and we must represent Nigeria very well. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure, please.
All right, people, let's go for a short break, and when we're back, the program continues.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Nigeria at 65, a nation rich in culture, heritage, and resilience. From the banks of the River Niger to the hills of Jos, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the peaceful plains of Sokoto, Nigeria stands tall, united by hope, straightened by diversity. 65 years, the green and white flag rises high, a symbol of freedom, a promise of self-determination, a call to greatness.
Through trials and triumphs, challenges and changes, Nigeria remains unbroken. Her people, bold, brilliant, and brave, continue to rise, innovating, creating, and shaping the future. The journey has been perfect, but it has been powerful.
As we mark 65 years of independence, we remember the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to the future with hope. Together, we are stronger and united. Happy Independence, Nigeria! This message is brought to you by Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Global Morning Weekend Edition, and this is a program where we get to highlight issues about Nigeria as we get information to move into the week and actually make progress. Just before we went on that break, we had Mrs. Adejoke Rajid, who is a cultural enthusiast and also a cultural advocate, join us as we talked about Nigeria at 65. What are the cultural deviations that we're facing as a people and also as a country? All right, now, so let's go check what the papers are saying on a Sunday morning, right? This is where we get to look at the newspapers and what the papers are saying. The first paper we'll be looking at this morning is the Punch newspaper. All right, so we're looking at the Punch newspaper this morning. A late story says, Dangote fumes at Union's order to ground refinery. The story is on page 3. On the radar, it says, stop supplying gas, crude to refinery. Pengasson tells members. The union plotting to cause fuel crisis, says Dangote. Still the war between Dangote and Pengasson. It takes the front page of the Punch this morning. Other story says it is political suicide to alienate North and favor Lagos. Ex-NHIS boss Yusuf. That story is on page 28. Another story says tinted glass permit. Motorists kick as police begin enforcement on Tuesday. That is on page 29. Other story, you're going to see a picture of the Rivers State Governor, Similaye Fubara. And the story says APC, PDP jostle for Rivers after Wike Fubara's truce. It's on page 5. Page 26 says World Bank to approve 750 million loans to Nigeria on Tuesday. Then page 24 says Scan slams fake preachers after failed rapture wrecks lives. It's on page 24. On page 14 and 15 says double promotion inside the silent strain of fast tracking brilliant kits. Is on page 14 and 15. Another story says my son's drowning at beach, highly suspicious. Murder of Unilag 400 level students. Then there's a story just below the paper that says 70,000 HIV prevention injection splits Nigerians. All right, so I'd just like to highlight this Dangote and Pengasson issue where we had Pengasson alleged that Dangote sacked staff who were members of unions, and Dangote said no, it wasn't about that, it was just about reorganization, and 300 people were sacked. But we still have a lot of Nigerians who are working at the refinery, and it seems to continue. But energy security is very important, and as Nigerians we must make sure that we get to that place where we have our energy security, and we are able to do it very well, right? And it's very important for us as a country and as a people to be able to have that, and we're able to run very well. Okay, so let's take the other paper that we are taking this morning. That's the Independent newspaper, Sunday edition of the Independent newspaper. All right, so the Sunday edition of the Independent newspaper, the lead story says mixed feelings as Nigerians await outcome of constitution review. And its picture story says you are going to see a picture story where you have Idris Akande Ozegi, Assistant Controller General. We have retired Major General A.M. Jibril, Secretary to CDCFI Board, Representative of the Minister of Interior. We have Kemi Nana Nadeb, Controller General of Immigration, and the newly graduated cadet officers during the 50th passing out parade of the Immigration Training School in Kano. All right, so that's the picture story. Who takes a major page of that newspaper, the Independent newspaper. Another story says Dangote refinery shifts to dollar pricing, sparks fears of fuel price hikes. Company debunks mass sack claim, says reorganization for safety. Story, states not subordinate to FG. Akande tells governors, states not subordinate to FG. All right, as Independence marks Jubilee for free universal basic education. On the top page of the Independent newspaper, Sunday edition, you see marriage crisis grows in Nigeria's churches. That's also the story that you have. So pick a copy of the Independent newspaper and get to understand all of the stories that we have on the paper this morning. And we'll be taking the Punch newspaper, the Nation newspaper, I beg your pardon, the Nation newspaper as the next newspaper now. Sunday edition of the Nation newspaper. Lead story says price hike, scarcity fears heighten over Pengasson and Dangote face off. Price hikes, scarcity fears heighten over Pengasson and Dangote face off. On the rider you have Depot rises petrol price to 980 naira per litre. Union orders cut of gas and crude supply to refinery. Dangote accuses Pengasson of economic sabotage. Company resumes petrol sale in naira after federal government intervene. That's on the rider following the lead story. Another story says fresh crisis hits PDP as Damagu and Yagu forward conflicting letters to INEC. Fresh crisis hits PDP as Damagu and Ayagu forward conflicting letters to INEC. So on the radar says chairman, secretary differ over Plateau, Cross River, KB State Congresses. Legal implementation of the 10 outcome of the National Convention. Another story says 2027, Jonathan, David Mark disagree on ADC tickets. Jonathan assures me that he will be the candidate. Mark, okay, Jonathan, assure me that I will be the candidate. Mark, presidential ticket is open for all. All right, we saw where we had the story about the former president of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, visiting, David Mark, who is the chairman of the ADC, the coalition party. And there's a story on The Nation about that meeting and what it means for the two of them. Another story says 17 abducted, both passengers still missing in Calabar police. Operation Dudola, South Africans renew hostilities against Nigerians and others. There's a picture story that shows Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun in a meeting with Zhou Zunu, the governor of Chongqing province in China, during a visit to China. Then the story says Pencom raises capital base for PFAS to 20 billion, PFCS to 225 billion naira. Operation Douala, South Africa's renew hostilities against Nigeria. That story is on page 19 of The Nation newspaper. All right, so we take the Vanguard newspaper next. All right, the Vanguard newspaper lead story says doctors in Nigeria paid 2 million. Japa counterpart in the UK 50 million. We save lives, but who will save us? That's a story that you have on the Vanguard, Sunday Vanguard. Why president should not appoint INEC chairman. Countdown to Yakubu's successor. Why president should not appoint INEC chairman. It says the Kuka Center, Younger Africa, IPC, plaque, 14 others unveil citizens' memo. List 34 ways to reform Nigeria's electoral system. Ekiti tops transparent ranking with 100% success rates. I cannot in good conscience oppose Tinubu and embrace coalition. Adeboye. I don't know which of the Adeboye is that. Get the Vanguard newspaper, page 14, and understand what is going on. Ekiti tops transparent ranking with 100% success rates. From Delta to Rivers, Akwa Ibom and Bayelsa, battered Nigerians live horror in hard times. I landed on dump site from dreaming to be a pilot. Those are human angle stories on page 28 of that particular newspaper. It says Dangote resumes sales of petrol in Naira. A huge disparity in pay. Nigerian house officers 2 million annually. Doctors in training in the UK over 50 million annually. Residents in the US over 90 million annually. Postgraduate year 1 doctors in Canada roughly 80 million annually. Interns in Australia 84 million to 120 million annually. Just going to show the disparity between what doctors in Nigeria earn and what doctors outside Nigeria actually earn. The last newspaper we'll take this morning is the Sunday Times newspaper. It says Tinubu tax IMF, World Bank orders on climate action funding. That's the lead story. And the picture story shows the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, with the newly commissioned cadet officers of the Nigerian Army. Other story says education is public investment with higher returns. Shetima. Pengasson moves to cripple Dangote refinery, cuts gas supply and crude supply. Also a story there on page 2. Page 4 says mother, court sentence soldier to death by hanging. Kanu Heart Foundation performs surgeries on 700 persons. Pencom raises bar for PFA's custodians to 25 billion. Defeated Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United lose weekend games. Paul Okoye threatens lawsuit against ex-user over rep allegations. All right, so those are some of the stories that we'll have this morning on the Sunday Times newspaper. All right, the Times newspaper Sunday edition. We'll go for a short break, and when we're back, we'll bring our next guest as we have our discussion for this morning.
Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Nigeria at 65, a nation rich in culture, heritage, and resilience. From the banks of the River Niger to the hills of Jos, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the peaceful plains of Sokoto, Nigeria stands tall, united by hope, straightened by diversity. 65 years, the green and white flag rises high, a symbol of freedom, a promise of self-determination, a call to greatness.
Through trials and triumphs, challenges and changes, Nigeria remains unbroken. Her people, bold, brilliant, and brave, continue to rise, innovating, creating, and shaping the future. The journey has been perfect, but it has been powerful.
As we mark 65 years of independence, we remember the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to the future with hope. Together, we are stronger and united. Happy Independence, Nigeria! This message is brought to you by Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you
Welcome back. This is still Global Morning Weekend Edition, and today we are looking at Nigeria 65, the things we've been able to accomplish as a people so far, and the progress that we've made. Absolutely, what a roller coaster it's been. Yeah, it's been a journey filled with bumps up and there, here and there. We've had a time where we even had to reconsider, are we really a country? But overall, I think we've made some very meaningful progress. All right, so let's go check out what happened today in time past, right? This is what we call today in history. What is actually some of the things that happened today in history? So we're going to be taking some of the things that happened today in history. The first thing we have is that today in 1928, Alexander Fleming noticed a mole killing a bacteria in his laboratory, all right? An observation that will lead to the discovery of penicillin. That's where we have antibiotics and antibacterials. Before this, there wasn't any well-known established, medication for antibacterials. But we're going to have Alexander Fleming go ahead to make this very important discovery that will change the course of medical history and will change the course of history as a whole. All right, so Alexander Fleming was actually a Scottish scientist. He discovered a mole which was called Penicillium notatum, killing bacteria in his laboratory. So from this, he's going to identify the substance which we now know today as penicillin, the first world's widely recognized and widely effective antibiotic, a discovery that revolutionized medicine and how medical practice is done. I don't know if we have a picture of Alexander Fleming. All right, so we're trying to see if we can bring that up for you to actually see. And other historical facts that we had, actually happened today is that today in 48 BC, right, Pompey the Great is going to be defeated. Caesar will be defeated at the battle of Pharsalus, and Pompey will flee to Egypt, where he will actually be assassinated. Today, King Pompey presented Pompey's head as a gift then to Julius Caesar when he arrived in Egypt. So today we have the assassination of Pompey as one of the things that happened today. So in a dramatic turn of Roman political history, the military leader and military statesman Pompey was assassinated in Egypt by the order of King Ptolemy shortly after Pompey sought refuge there following defeat in a civil war against Julius Caesar. This happened today in history, right? It actually happened today a long time ago in 48 BC. This was actually one of the things that happened today. Also today, 28th of September, is the International Day for Universal Access to Information. Today is the International Day for Universal Access to Information, a day set aside by United Nations to celebrate the openness of information. And for those of us who are communicators, I think this is very important. Access to information as journalists, we always want information to be publicly available. Data on poverty, data on GDP, data on a lot of things, right? That will help us to be able to move our country forward. So information is power, like they say. Information is very important, and it is important that at this point in time, as Nigerians, we are able to get hold of information. I think we've done a lot with the Information Act, right? And our journalists are better able to access information, although we still have a lot of things that we could do better coordination by government agencies so that data are released and accessed on time. But I guess a lot of people don't even know that some of the data that you need for your work are available on government portal. The NBS, the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, are loaded with a lot of data that could be of public good and could also help you with your research. NIMET, for instance, have a lot of data. If you are doing something in the environmental sector like myself or climate change, you need that data. You know, NIMET actually has that data, and a lot of other government agencies, right, that have all of this data. So today is a day set aside and celebrated internationally about the openness to information, and we need to have this data. You know, sometimes we talk about the fact that we have a lot of bodies in Nigeria that take data, but we are not able to synthesize and to mine this data for a reasonable outcome, because data are facts, and these facts will help us to make decisions. So we don't just talk from head knowledge, but we're able to talk factually. What is the number of out-of-school children? How many children are born in Nigeria every day? Those are the things that we should be able to look at and understand. What is the percentage of unemployment, right? How many Nigerians are employed? How many Nigerians get admission into school? So all of this data. So today is a day set aside by United Nations to actually celebrate and to call for effective data management. And I think it's something that is very important. Universal access to information. Information is very important for all of us. All right, so also today is celebrated and observed as the Igbo Day. All right, today is celebrated worldwide as a day set aside to celebrate Nigerians who are from the Igbo ancestry. And it is very, very important. I'll just say a few things about this, because you can't talk about Nigeria and not mention those who are from the Southeast. All right, they've played a major role. They've had significant contributions to Nigeria and where we are and where we are going to, and all of the things that we've done. So it is important that we celebrate with them. So all our friends who are from the Southeast, this is us also saying happy celebrations, happy celebrations, happy celebrations to all our friends who are from the Southeast. Happy Igbo Day celebration. The Igbo people are very enterprising. They are very innovative, they are very creative. They could make opportunities where there seem to be no opportunities. They could just go into any place and dominate and do very well for themselves, right? So we celebrate with you. 28th and 29th of October is observed by the Igbo people as Igbo Day. So Waneze Ndibo and every other person. I think we have a few Igbo colleagues today in the office I'd like to shout out to as a celebrate Igbo Day. The name just comes. Samuel Odi is celebrating, of course. This is your celebration. Ogo, this is your celebration. Uche, this is your celebration. Simoni, this is your celebration. And every other person who is Igbo, right? This is actually your celebration. We love the Igbo people. Igbo people have been great part of Nigeria, and we can't talk about Nigerian history without the contributions that they've made in Lagos, in Owerri, in different places, in Abuja, right? We mentioned Obi Kubana, Otoise, and a whole lot of people from that particular region that have contributed significantly to the growth of Nigeria. Then we'll take the last this thing we have today, the last story we bring to you today from Today in History. Today in 1924, 3 U.S. Army planes completed the first aerial circumnavigation of the world, landing back in situ. All right, so something is going to happen today. Something happened today that was very significant to the U.S., just like the U.S. being the first country to get to the moon. All right, so we are going to have today the first aerial circumnavigation of the world, where you have pilots go through the whole world, right? Fly through the whole world, start from a place and go around the whole world. When they didn't have landing systems, when they didn't have all of the GPI technologies we have today, they didn't have the GIS technology we have today, they didn't have the aerial monitoring systems we have today to help planes to do better. All right, so the US actually set this precedent, being we are going to see 3 U.S. Army planes complete the first aerial circumnavigation of the world, landing back in situ where they started. And for me, I think this was and it was a national consciousness where the U.S. felt it's not been done before. We are going to do it. That's why we are the United States of America, right? And they showed the grit and the determination in going out to achieve their purpose. And I think it's something we can learn from as a country, Nigeria, as we're marking 65. What are those challenges that seems insurmountable? Poverty, challenges, unemployment, lack of education, electricity. We've battled so long, right? We can do it. We can actually achieve this. If we have political leaders that have the right political will, we can bring down unemployment. We can make sure that we have 24/7 power supply in Nigeria. It is actually very possible. We just need the right mindset to be able to achieve all of these things. Nigeria at 65 is not a joke. It has come to stay. It is true. It is what we can do, and it's what we've been doing. I trust and believe in this great country, right? This country is our country, and we must make sure that this country gets to where it is supposed to be. Thank you so much, beautiful people, and everybody who've been a part of today's production. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you, Mujahid, and every other person who's been a part of today's production. We really do celebrate you. Thank you, all of our guests who came on the show this morning. It's all about Nigeria. It's all about how we love the country and how this country can move forward and become great. For me, saying Nigeria at 65, happy birthday, Nigeria. In few days, I hope that Nigeria grows and live for many, many, many more years to come in truth, in peace, and in love. This is me saying goodbye. My name is Ubongu Soro. I do have a wonderful morning ahead of you.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Nigeria at 65, a nation rich in culture, heritage, and resilience. From the banks of the River Niger to the hills of Jos, from the bustling streets of Lagos to the peaceful plains of Sokoto, Nigeria stands tall, united by hope, straightened by diversity. 65 years, the green and white flag rises high, a symbol of freedom, a promise of self-determination, a call to greatness.
Through trials and triumphs, challenges and changes, Nigeria remains unbroken. Her people, bold, brilliant, and brave, continue to rise, innovating, creating, and shaping the future. The journey has been perfect, but it has been powerful.
As we mark 65 years of independence, we remember the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to the future.